Beefing with you? Are you dumb? Hyping for the neck or check.
We've got to talk about Clarissa, her behavior, and this whole obsession that seems to be getting more and more obvious. Her so-called response to Remy is basically that none of this is going to happen and that she refuses to accept it. And no, you cannot claim you responded when you really didn't, because the moment Remy actually made her move, you went completely quiet. Clarissa has her whole crew around her, hyping her up and making her believe she's ready for something this serious. But honestly, it's wild to watch someone be surrounded by people who seemingly don't challenge them, don't tell them the truth, and may only be there because there's money involved. That's the biggest thing this situation has shown me. Clarissa appears to be surrounded by yes men who will support whatever she does instead of telling her when she's going too far. Then Remy dropped a song. And remember, Clarissa had been acting like, if you don't say my name, I'm not acknowledging it, while constantly talking as if she wasn't intimidated by Remy at all. But Remy released the track, made the reference clear, and suddenly Clarissa had nothing to say. You've been talking all this time about how you're not afraid, so why go completely silent when the response finally lands? Remy made it clear who she was talking about, and of course Clarissa suddenly had no reaction. Now you want to act like you're above the drama and refuse to engage, but that excuse is looking harder and harder to believe. We're definitely going to watch how this plays out, because somebody around Clarissa seems to have convinced her that she can actually win this battle, and honestly, I'm not seeing it. Let's start with what happened at the weigh-in. Clarissa showed up wearing an outfit that looked almost identical to Alicia Bombardier previously wore at her own weigh-in, just in a different color. The overall look was basically the same, and that is where things start getting interesting. Because if you constantly claim you can't stand someone and act like you could never be compared to them, why are you showing up in an outfit that looks almost exactly like theirs? Out of all the outfits in the world, you somehow landed on the same look Alicia wore only a few months ago, or whenever her last fight took place. At this point, Clarissa, something about this situation is becoming difficult to ignore. And honestly, it's sad, because it may take a major reality check before you finally recognize what everyone else is seeing. This isn't giving originality anymore, it's giving obsession. It makes people question whether you're actually developing your own identity or simply borrowing what you see from other people. The outfits are copied, the presentation feels copied, and now even the way you carry yourself seems influenced by someone else. And if you genuinely believe you can step into a rap battle and somehow sound like Remy, then you may be seriously underestimating what you're walking into. At that point, it's not confidence anymore. It's a complete misunderstanding of the level of competition. But I guess when you have people close to you constantly feeding your confidence and telling you that everything is possible, you can start believing you're ready to compete on the same wavelength as Remy. And that right there could be the biggest problem of all. Now let's get into Clarissa's weigh-in look. I'm going to show you Alicia's outfit too, but first I want to talk about what Papoose posted, because he uploaded a video from the weigh-in and the caption he chose was definitely worth looking at.
Oh, my man. You know we don't roll nothing but Rolls Royces.
You already know.
How you feel about the weigh-in?
Crazy, man. Fine, look amazing.
Thank you. It was so much fun. Oh my God, that was insanity. Oh my God, that was crazy, y'all. Did y'all see did y'all watch the weigh-in live? Man, this nigga Floyd was there, Shane Mosley, the fans. It was crazy. It was crazy. Yes, they was yelling, whoop that trick. My opponent was like, no. I'm like, you're not going to be able to stop all those people from yelling, whoop that trick. They've all been trained. We're going to do it. Yes, tickets is almost sold out. When they talking all that trash, like, bro, y'all cannot stop what I got going. Why is this girl? Yes, girl, my man. You off my live, though. Bye-bye. The fight is tomorrow, y'all. Get the rest of the tickets up on the Ticketmaster. And if you're not coming, watch the fight live on the Zone. I'm finna go back to the room and eat me some more food. What's up, man? Yes, belt to ass tomorrow. Yeah, we getting ready to take off. All right, y'all. Thank you. Thank all my...
He basically said people need to stop claiming this black woman isn't beautiful and suggested that everyone must be blind. But honestly, the timing of that post is what makes it interesting, because it comes across like he may be intentionally trying to provoke Remy even more. He's going out of his way to praise Clarissa and defend her appearance, but why do this right now? If this were just an ordinary Friday with nothing happening, would he really be making a post like that? Probably not. He would likely be doing his own thing somewhere else while Clarissa was somewhere else doing her usual thing, and this whole situation wouldn't even be happening. So to me, it feels like he's simply playing his role right now and staying fully involved until the fight is over. He's clocked in, he's doing what he believes he needs to do, and he's trying to project the image that nothing is bothering him, even though there are still serious personal matters that need to be handled. Because whatever is happening behind the scenes doesn't simply disappear because there's a fight going on. You can't pretend everything is fine forever when there are unresolved issues that still need to be dealt with before everyone can move forward. I'm thinking he may have been referring to Brorilla because of the comments she previously made about Clarissa. But at this point, I don't even think the conversation is really about physical appearance anymore. It's about attitude, personality, and the fact that a lot of people simply don't connect with Clarissa. Yet somehow, the conversation keeps getting redirected toward looks. And when it comes to appearance, that argument becomes even more interesting because Clarissa has repeatedly been accused of taking inspiration from other people's looks. Now, after the weigh-in, they were sitting in the car, and this is where things get even more interesting. Let's see what Clarissa had to say, because she was clearly looking through the chat, and somebody apparently brought up her man or questioned whether that person was actually her man. So let's listen to what she says, because she's trying very hard to look completely unbothered, but then she gets around her yes men and suddenly the energy changes. And I'm going to show you that part, because the nerve of trying to rap and talk tough while just moments earlier you was sitting there pretending none of this bothered you is something we definitely need to examine. Let's take a look. So you heard what she said. According to her, they supposedly don't ride around in anything except Rolls Royces, but that claim is being heavily questioned. And honestly, I don't understand why people feel the need to flex so hard with luxury cars when there are questions about whether those vehicles are even actually owned. Then you heard her saying the tickets were sold out and asking why people were lying. But nobody is making that information up. People are simply going by what they can see on Ticketmaster, which is where the tickets are being sold. Anyone can check the site for themselves and see what's available. So if the event were genuinely sold out, that would be reflected there. That's how ticket sales work, and people are discussing what the platform is actually showing them. That's exactly what people are talking about. Then she apparently kicked a woman off her life after the woman made a comment about her man, and Clarissa immediately took it personally. It was basically giving, "That's my man, get out of here." And honestly, at some point, this whole situation needs to be settled, because people are exhausted by the constant back and forth. Nobody is fighting over Papoose the way you seem to think they are. This isn't some competition where every woman is desperately trying to get him. His own wife is reportedly ready to finalize the divorce, so I really don't understand why Clarissa seems so convinced that everybody is focused on Papoose. But I will say this, you might want to pay closer attention to the people surrounding you. The same people smiling in your face today can switch up tomorrow and act like they never even knew you, especially when relationships and opportunities get involved. So I definitely wouldn't be too comfortable assuming everyone around you is completely loyal. You're spending all this energy worrying about what strangers are saying in the chat, but you should probably be paying more attention to the people who are actually around him. That's where the real concern could be. Because the people you keep bringing into your circle may have motives you don't fully understand, and sometimes the biggest problems aren't coming from the people watching from the outside. Now let's get into the Alicia Bombardier comparison, because this is where things get even more interesting. This is Clarissa walking into her weigh-in, and once you see the look, you'll understand exactly why people started making that comparison.
Man, what the fuck is going on? Beefing with you? Are you dumb? Hyping for the neck or check? Man, what the fuck is going on?
Okay, so Clarissa did make weight, coming in at around 159.8, if I'm remembering that number correctly. But looking at the whole situation, you have to wonder if she was sitting back watching Alicia Bombardiers fight, her weigh-in, her whole presentation, and especially that moment when little Kim came out for Alicia's walkout, thinking she wanted to recreate that same energy. Because it really feels like Clarissa watched all of that, took notes, and decided that when her next fight came around, she was going to create her own version of the same look, same type of outfit, same kind of presentation, and sure enough, that's exactly what we ended up seeing. So let's go back and look at Alicia's weigh-in, because the comparison is honestly hard to miss. I had to mute the music because Cardi B was playing, and I'm definitely not trying to have copyright issues messing with the video. But just look at how Alicia presented herself. She looked great without needing all the extra theatrics. She didn't have to stand there while somebody was constantly brushing and fixing her hair on stage just to maintain the look. Clarissa, on the other hand, actually had someone come out during the weigh-in to brush and adjust her hair, and I do have a clip of that. I might save it for a short, but it was the same person who has apparently been working with her wigs and weaves, coming out there to fix everything for her. And that's what makes the comparison even more interesting, because Alicia's presentation seems to be the blueprint Clarissa was trying to recreate. And Alicia is obviously going to see all of this, which is exactly why the comparison matters. From the outside looking in, it comes across as jealousy and resentment toward Alicia, especially when you consider that Alicia has another major opportunity coming up with Special Forces. Alicia is expected to be part of Special Forces, which is reportedly set to begin airing around the middle to latter part of September. And honestly, I'm looking forward to seeing what she does on that show. So if Clarissa already has an issue with Alicia, you can only imagine how much more attention that opportunity could bring. But now, this next part is the real kicker, because what Clarissa did after all of this is something you absolutely have to see. She really thought she was turning up, acting like she was giving Remy some kind of low-key response, even though it was pretty obvious who she was referring to. And when you listen to what she was saying, while people around her were reacting with comments like, "Are you dumb?" the whole thing becomes even more uncomfortable. So let's take a look, because this part is seriously cringeworthy. And once again, Clarissa seems determined to do what she does best, go after someone she appears to wish she could be.
What the fuck is holding on?
I don't know. Huh?
You better go.
Where's the cigarette? I can hear it. Huh? Rent friend, you bitches head. To me, my ops is dead. Don't pay attention to hoes. I make pay instead. Winning is my revenge. Hoes wigs make me cringe. Acrimony ass bitch stalking me on the net. Hoes still win against me. Can't keep my name out of my side. I think the bitch wanna fuck me. Huh? You wanna? Huh?
Hold on, though, wait.
You hoes up and hate me. Huh?
I call that it. Oh, took the. What the fuck is holding on?
So, did you hear that? The girl is literally asking, is she beefing with you or is she beefing with me? And then you hear the response, "Are you dumb?" While everyone starts pointing, and just look at the expression on Clarissa's face at that moment. That was only the first part. Now let's get into the second part, because it gets even more interesting.
So bad you can't see her. Call me Big Whoa with a big G. Bitch. Are you dumb? I don't beef with bitches. I beat bitches. I don't beef with bitches. I beat bitches, nigga. Understand that? I don't do no beef. I don't want to beef with you. I want to fight with you, bitch. I don't do no beef. I don't beef. I beat. Like Ike. Turner. You want to beat me so bad you can't see her. Call me.
Did you catch everything she was saying there? I couldn't make out every single word, but it sounded like she was trying to claim that somebody wants to be her and even wants to sleep with her just because they're trying to imitate her. And Clarissa, please, if you need 3, 4, or 5 people around you constantly hyping you up just to convince you that you sound good, while viewers can barely understand what you're saying, then something is seriously off. The delivery sounds ridiculous, and deep down, you know exactly what you were doing. You know the accusations that you were following or watching Remy, and you know the history behind all of this. So trying to flip the entire situation around now and make Remy look like the one who's obsessed is honestly unbelievable. Especially when, according to the discussion here, Remy was already sent a cease and desist back in April, and now that Remy is speaking up, you're suddenly acting like she's the one stalking you. That is a complete reversal of the story, and it's hard to take seriously. And if you're actually planning to put this out there as part of your response, I'm not even completely sure whether what we just heard was from the song itself, because honestly, I haven't heard the entire track. So maybe that section came directly from the song, or maybe it was something separate. Either way, I can't say for certain. But even with that uncertainty, the whole thing still comes across as messy. At the end of the day, it feels like you're only making the situation worse for yourself. Now, let's move on to the third part, because this next clip adds another layer to everything we've been watching. So she's sitting there saying, "Are you dumb?" and then follows it up with the whole "I don't beef, I beat" energy, basically saying she'll beat somebody up. That's the same tough talk we've heard from her before, and suddenly she's back in that mode again. But notice the timing. She had been relatively quiet, and then once she got around her whole crew, suddenly the energy completely changed. Now she's getting hyped up by the people around her, popping off and acting like she's about to do something major, when realistically, we have no idea what's actually going to happen. And that "are you dumb?" The line definitely sounded intentional. We already know where that phrase has been associated with, so for Clarissa to use it right here feels very deliberate. She knew exactly what she was saying and exactly who people were going to connect it to. Then she followed that up with the whole "I don't beef, I beat" line, which is clearly her way of trying to turn this into a threat instead of an actual response. So apparently she thinks that's enough to count as her answer to Remy. But are we really supposed to accept that? Because I'm not going to sit here and wait until after the fight for Clarissa to go live, act completely unbothered, and say things like, "I'm not worried, they want to be me." The switch-up is just too obvious. Think about it. You're claiming somebody wants to imitate you, while you just walked into your weigh-in wearing an outfit that looks almost exactly like Alicia's. That contradiction is hard to ignore. Copycat energy all the way through. And the only major difference was Alicia's hair. Alicia wore her hair up in an updo without bundles or a wig, while Clarissa had a completely different hair presentation. Other than that, the outfit comparison is what immediately stood out. I'm probably going to break this whole situation down again and put part of it into a short, especially the clip of Clarissa making those comments toward Remy. Because like I said before, this is weak, and I don't think this qualifies as a real response. But we'll see what happens next, because I have a feeling Remy isn't finished. With her album coming, there could be a lot more coming our way, and honestly, that's the part I'm waiting to see.